Empowers. How are you on today? I just want you to take the time out to share this broadcast. We are back with part 2. Listen, if you didn't catch part 1, make sure you go and watch part 1 with Minister Sheena. It was so powerful. We are back on now. And if you don't know, I am Dr. Venesia Williams, the #1 prophetic empowerment coach in the UK, the author of the book, The Power of Renewing Your Mind and Turning Point, How God Turned My Darkness into Marvelous Light. And I'm also the founder of the Power of Love Ministries and the Empowerment Club, where we empower women to win in life, overcome the obstacles, the blocks, so that they can truly begin to live life on purpose and truly achieve their goals, their dreams, and their visions. We are not wasting no time. We have the phenomenal Joy Maxwell coming on today. Welcome, Professor.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. How are you?
You look absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
My apologies. Our first session went a little bit over time, but listen, you know, when the Spirit of God begins to move, you just got to let it flow.
No problem. I completely understand.
So, Joy, please do tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what is it that you do.
Awesome. So I am Joy Maxwell. I am a retired school teacher that stepped out on faith and opened my own business almost 10 years ago. I was in the classroom as a teacher. I absolutely love children. However, I was making about $40,000 a year, and I knew that I needed more. I had a lot of dreams, endeavors, I had a lot of goals, and I was stuck. I knew that God had more for me. And so I stepped out on faith, and we first opened a clothing store. And then we opened our first childcare center. And so I literally went from making over $40,000 from making $40,000 a year to making over $40,000 a month in business. And so once I accomplished that, I knew that God had something greater for me. And I knew I had a system that if I fine tuned it and I tweaked it a little bit, I could teach other people how to repeat the system.
Wow. So hold on a minute. Yes. You went from making 40,000 a year to making 40,000 a month.
Yes.
Now we're going to celebrate that on today. Wow. And what you said really is that you was able to get the blueprint of doing that and begin to teach other people the same thing.
Yes, pretty much. And so at first I was just doing it for business owners. But what I realized is that God was calling me to help empower kingdom entrepreneurs, because what I realized about kingdom entrepreneurs is we have an additional assignment on our lives. And oftentimes the enemy wants to attack our assignment. And so that comes in the form of being frustrated, being overwhelmed, not knowing how to put things together, not knowing about automation, not knowing about social media, not knowing about websites and funnels. And so we become all discombobulated and we become distracted. And the enemy likes us being distracted because we can't reach our greatest goals when we're distracted. So here we are today that we have pivoted a little bit. We still have our childcare centers, but we also have a consultant agency where we help other entrepreneurs execute pretty much.
Wow. That is amazing. Listen, I need everyone to share right now. I need you to start hearting it up, because you know that you have been there, or you are currently there right now, when you are thinking like, listen, this is the best thing that could happen in your life. When you were able to get some automations in place, you are able to delegate, so you got more time to do the things that you actually are profitable to you and you actually enjoy doing. Because I don't know about you, but I do not enjoy paperwork.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, wow, tell us a little bit about your journey, your story.
So, when I first started out on this journey, I thought I was doing everything that my family wanted me to do, which was go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a job. But I very quickly found myself almost like in a rat race. I knew that it had to be something more for my life. I knew that God was calling me for something greater and more profound. And then the more I started to encounter other entrepreneurs, other business owners, and I knew they were struggling, they were going through depression, they didn't know about self care. At one point in my business, I think I had missed almost like 3 consecutive doctor's appointments because I
Wow.
was always in the office, in the program, in the childcare programs, checking on staff, checking on children. If something happened to a kid, I'm visiting them at home. I'm picking them up on the weekends. I'm taking them to the doctors myself instead of making sure that I was okay as the visionary. And I knew that that was a common thing. I knew that a lot of other people were doing the same exact thing, neglecting themselves in the name of their dream, in the name of their vision. And so I knew that I had to create a safe space for entrepreneurs to empower them, encourage them, equip them to continue to execute, but in the right way. So even when we started doing our vision master classes and our vision events, those are not events, for 100 people. It's more intimate. It's an event for about 25 to 30 people because we want to bring entrepreneurs in and help them feel encouraged, help them feel empowered, really hear what's going on with their heart, really hearing what's going on with, their issues at the moment. And so cultivating this community and being in this space to meet other entrepreneurs, other kingdom entrepreneurs, other creatives, other visionaries, it's really been a blessing. It's really been a blessing. So many of us have a Joseph anointing on our life. We have a Daniel anointing on our life. We have a David anointing on our life. And if we don't get to the place where we're able to truly, truly execute, we'll become like the man who hid his talents. And we don't want that.
Ooh, girl, I was just speaking about that earlier. That sometimes we overlook what it is that God has given us. We can overlook our little, and it brings to mind. Facebook, do you not get fed up with me talking about the woman with the widow with the little bit of oil? Because I'm not gonna stop until I pull out all the revelation that God has in there.
That's right.
Because it's like she thought she had nothing, but she still had something. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us, we just need to really keen in and focus to see what it is that we actually have that's going to be multiplied and going to bring that increase. And if we do not have that self-care that you was talking about, if we don't get enough rest, if we are not taking care of ourselves and being able to live a sustained lifestyle that's truly balanced, then we're not going to be able to pull out the very thing that's needed for us to multiply.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think that although the woman with the oil was in a place of despair, I think that she also had enough clarity to know she needed someone to coach her. She knew she did not have it in her own mind at the moment to figure out her situation. She knew she had to tap into someone else's anointing to get the strategy for her success. And so what often happens is we get into this place of pride. I don't want nobody to know. I don't want nobody to know that I'm broken, that my finances are jacked up, that I haven't filed my taxes in 4 years, that I'm about to file bankruptcy. I'm losing this, I'm losing that. I'm not managing well. I'm just broke, busted, and disgusted. We don't want anybody to know those parts. So we continue to hide thinking, well, if I ignore it or if I try to fix it myself, put a Band-Aid on it, it'll turn around. Where oftentimes we need to stop, halt all activity and go to the person who God has equipped with strategy to help get you out of your current situation and lay it all on the table. When she came to him, she said, listen, my husband has died.
Yes.
Me and my children have nothing, and they're coming back to get my boys if I don't pay back this money. She was honest. She was open and she was coachable. Now, the
That
place
part.
a lot of people miss this is oftentimes these coaches get caught up in, oh, I created you, I made you. No, no, no. It was already there. Everything she needed was already there. It just needed to be cultivated by somebody else.
Yes. And this is the thing as well. She was in a predicament and she went to the prophet, to the mentor, and she did not get money. She did
That's
not
right.
get groceries. She
That's
did
right.
not get something tangible that she could hold and say, okay, I've got this now.
That's
She
right.
got an instruction,
She got instructions. Yep.
strategy.
Yep.
So now it was up to her. Are you going to apply the strategy that has been given to you? Are you going to be obedient to what has, a lot of us have been getting the right information and we still complaining? We still whining and we're not winning. Why are we whining and not winning? Is because you have not applied what has been taught.
That's right.
Application is the key. She was obedient and she went to work. She went and followed through with the instructions.
Yep. Yep.
So I see a lot of people can be stuck because they don't follow through with the instruction.
Yeah. Yeah. That's half the people that I start out coaching. And really it all starts with mindset. If we don't have the mindset to believe my situation can get better, I can see myself out of this, we'll continuously stay stuck where we are.
And what do you think really, because this is why I read my book, The Power of Renewing Your Mind, because I was coaching these clients and I kept saying, I don't like repeating myself, and I kept saying the same thing over and over and over again. So I was like, listen, I'm going to just put it in a book. Please get the book. So we can skip that part of the process of you renewing your mind. It is so key. It is so important that you are intentional with your thoughts. The word even says, so a man thinketh, so is he. So what is it that you're thinking towards your situation? What is it that you're actually saying?
So I think the part that I had to get to when I started out in business is that what I believe has to also be what I see. It also has to be what I confess. Because if it's not at the forefront of my mind, what happens is I start out with this one mindset while I'm home. By the time I see the person at the mailbox, my mind has already changed. By the time I see the person at the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, now I have another set of thoughts. By the time I talk to my mama, my auntie, and my girlfriend, now my thoughts is all over the place. But if I keep my thought, my original mindset thought of change, of growth, of development, if I keep it as my confession, as I keep it as a visual, and I keep it as a thought, all three together will line up and allow you to see what you really need to see. But oftentimes we miss it. We think it in our mind, but we never write it down. Write the vision, make it plain, put it on tablets so they that see it may run with it. So we miss some of those pieces when it comes to the portion of vision. What does vision look like? What does executing vision look like? Okay, you had the thought 2 years ago. You Googled it, but where's the follow through? Did you make a visual for it? Did you get a mock up yet? Did you get a print of it? Okay, who's holding you accountable? Did you send it to print yet? You know, I've talked to people before and they said, oh, I started writing a book. Okay, and where is it now? Where's the book?
Wow.
Oh, I have some of it in my text messages. I emailed some of it to me. I have some of it in my phone. Okay, but when are you going to send it to an editor and send it to print?
Wow. So when did you realize the power of accountability and mentorship for your journey?
Ooh. So I want to say growing up under good, strong leadership has been a very big factor in my development. So I grew up in a time where My father had passed away. My mother was raising me and my siblings, and she was doing the best she knew how. And so for her, she needed a community that was going to help strengthen her children. And so the church that we joined, when I was like a teenager, was very, very instrumental in my growth and my development. My late Bishop Douglas E. Yancey was very, very, very instrumental in my life, and grooming me and helping me develop. He was a person that, I regular had office hours with him. Like, Bishop, I need to come and talk. I need to, run into you. All throughout college, because I went to a biblical college and I was raised Pentecostal apostolic. And so when I got to this Baptist Bible college, it, a lot of stuff I had never heard before. It had a lot of theology. It had a lot of, wait, what is this? I never heard that. What's that? And he was the type of person that he was very practical. And so he would tell me things like, Joy, you eat the meat and you throw away the bones. That means you get what's for you, and that what is not for you, you put to the side. You leave it alone. You don't argue over it. You don't debate over it. You don't get bent out of shape over it. You eat what's for you. You put the rest to the side. And so because he was a man of great honor, because he was like a father figure to me, I grew up learning how to honor leadership. I grew up learning how to stay humble and how to listen, even when it was uncomfortable, even when I didn't want to. I remember being very young when I moved out of my mom's house, and he was the person that was like, listen, you could be on your own all you want to, but at the end of the day, you are a leader in this ministry, and you have an obligation of integrity and accountability and some other stuff. And he taught me that leaders beget leaders. So because of that, I had to remember at all times, I was running a youth ministry when I was 19 years old of over 100 young people. I was traveling almost 3 times a year to different conferences and our yearly councils, and our association just had a lot of meetings. And when we got to those meetings, I was in leadership. I held a position with the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. And so I had to do what I needed to do. I could not make excuses. I couldn't give it over to anybody else. It came with my assignment. And so because of that, I had to learn that you have to listen to somebody, and you have to be coachable even as a leader. And so it wasn't a hard decision when I went on to become a certified John Maxwell leadership coach, because I knew what I did in the spirit, I also did in the natural. All of my jobs, all of my positions had always been in some type of leadership. Even if I started as a regular classroom teacher, I winded up on the leadership team. I winded up, on a debate team or the public council teams. Like, I always winded up in these groups. Even when I try to shy back, I'm always one. So it started very early on because it was cultivated. My mother groomed me, and my late bishop groomed me to be a leader.
That is amazing. And I just love that you continued and you endured, that process. And now you're equipping and empowering other people to do the same, because I know, as a leader and you're birthing leaders, you want them to even be greater than you.
Oh, yeah.
That's true, leadership, when you truly really mentor them so that they can actually be 10 times greater than you are. So you're doing such a phenomenal job. So what else is to come? Like, what's to come? What's to come?
Well, I'm super excited about this next level that God has me in. One thing about being a visionary, you are gifted to see things that other people cannot see. And so I remember almost about 2 years ago, I found myself in a very frustrating place because I was coming back out of the classroom in the childcare centers, and I was trying to do coaching full time. And I ran into so many pitfalls, like, oh my gosh, this coaching stuff is overwhelming. I don't understand. Now, mind you, I had been doing coaching on and off since 2017.
Wow.
I've always had a consultancy business, like legit consultancy business with the EIN number and everything. So I've been doing coaching for a while. But somewhere, there probably maybe it was around a pandemic, coaching took on a different form. It took on
Mm.
a lot of different extra stuff. And I was like, just not prepared. And the more I tried to catch up, it felt like something else was coming out that I needed to now implement. And I remember, paying different gurus, paying different coaches, and still feeling like, wait a minute, I have this part, but now I need this part. It was almost like somebody was giving me a jigsaw puzzle,
Mm.
500-piece jigsaw puzzle, but they were giving it to me in 50
Piece
pieces
by
at a
piece.
time, piece by piece. And I'm paying
For every piece.
for every piece, right? And I'm like, it has to be a better way that
Mm.
creatives, coaches, consultants can go to one place and it be like a concierge, right?
Yes.
And so my husband, he's in real estate. And so he signed up for a coach, and his coach was really phenomenal. He did his funnels, he did his sales pages, he did this, he did that. But there were so many other pieces that were still missing. Like we still had to do quarterly photo shoots. We still had to do video footage. We still had to, plan these events. And when you plan these events, oh, do you have a moderator? Do you have the facilitator? Do you have the logistics person? Do you have the person that's keeping the schedule? And it kept feeling like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. So now I'm calling around to like 50 different places to find all this stuff. And so most recently, it came to me like, listen, once you realize that what you're looking for is not there, you created yourself. You created yourself.
Yes, you become the solution.
You become the solutionist, right? You already
Yeah.
know what strategy needs. Like, I hate to go to an event and see the conference host running around being the facilitator, the MC, and the person that they keep bringing all the problems to. I hate that.
Mm.
Because as the visionary, you need to have a clear plate. You need to not know about any pitfalls that happen until after the event. And guess what? It need to be like 2 days after the event because you need to rest and be focused. And so I had an event in January. And when I had this event in January, I have it every January. It's called the Vision Masterclass. It's here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. We had it in a beautiful mansion. I'm talking about like 30 bedrooms. It was beautiful,
Wow.
private chef. And so we had our facilitator who handled every logistics you could think of, from the time the cars were coming in, the time the flights were coming in, who was getting picked up from the airport, what time the caterer was coming. He was the MC for the whole weekend. Then we had our videographer, we had our photographer, we had our decorator. We just had like all the pieces, and it really allowed me to put everybody in place.
Mm.
Right? Give everybody their call sheet. This is your call sheet for the weekend. This is where you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be there, and how long you need to be there. And everybody was able to flow. And so after the event, we were all talking as a team, and they were like, we can do this for other coaches, businesses, corporations. This is what we can do. Like, we literally just got back from Paris. And even in Paris,
Wow.
for International Women's Day in Paris, and I was able to bring my husband with me, who also doubled as my videographer and photographer. We were able to help the other coaches that were in the room, because you travel to these events, you don't have a photographer with you because maybe you couldn't afford to bring one with you, and now you're at the mercy of, hey, can you grab my cell phone when I'm up there and take a picture of me? Where
Mm.
now we're already in the room anyway, we can bring some of our people with us, and they were able to, get headshots, get video footage of you speaking, and be able to help you out in the process. And then for future conferences that are coming up, people who are hosting events, we have our concierge services in place that our logistics person is going to be your go-to person. Your vendor does not need to be calling you the morning of your event while you're trying to get your makeup done, stressing you out. No, our concierge will handle that. We'll be your customer service base. Your registration table should run so smoothly that even if it is a hiccup, I paid, I didn't pay, you would not know any of that, because you don't need that stress on you. You need the space and opportunity to be a creative and to deliver to the world. And so we are that back office. We're those people. We have a content day coming up in May here in Orlando. So we're going to have about 20 coaches come in. They're going to get their
Yeah.
early pictures. That was another thing. I would pay for photo shoots, And
I think Joy set me up today. Joy set me up today.
listen.
Set me up. She was just speaking all of this good stuff, and I'm like, I need that.
I would pay for photo shoots, right? And the photographer would be a man. And I would get my makeup done, and then I would go to get my pictures done, and my pictures would come back, and I would have hair out of place. I would have my blouse was buckling a little bit near my, boob area. I would have all this stuff that I'm like, he didn't see that. And I started being that person when my girlfriends would do their photo shoot, like, wait, let me fix her hair. Wait, let me pull her blazer down. Let's pinch this shirt in the back so it has a more form-fitting look, because we need these pictures to deliver to the world that not only am I who you need, but I'm put together as a package. And so it's the little things that we don't think about sometimes as coaches, that a second eye, especially a trained eye, sees and says, no, you need this. No, you need that. Here, I picked this up for you. Oh, your folders, they've already been done with your logo on them. Oh, this has already been printed up. All the stuff that you get to the day of the event and you're like, I didn't print out the agenda. I didn't print out a sign-in sheet. All that stuff is taken care of.
Wow. So, and that's definitely needed. I'm going to call you Professor Joy, the Destiny Helper.
And listen, the other thing is, being a youth director, I was in charge of one service a month. So one service is usually fourth Sunday in the afternoon. I was in charge of the service. So I had to make sure I had a praise dancer, MC, the person that was going to read the scripture, the person that was going to do the prayer. I had to get a guest speaker. Then if we were selling dinners or selling cupcakes, because we were the kids, the youth ministry, I had to have all that set up. And so it kind of gives you
prepared you.
It prepares you. Now here I am, hosting events and being a part of events and traveling. And like I said, I've been doing this since 2017. And almost every event that I've gone to, it's always been something like, who, like I've actually come into events and say, hey, I'm here if you need me. I volunteer. Because I would see people really trying to birth something awesome, and nobody stepping up to be there to say, let me take this off your plate.
Well, Joy is going to be in London the 30th of June.
Yes, I am. My husband and myself will be in the building.
I am so excited. You're coming with all your expertise.
Listen, I'm excited too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just in London. So now to be in the UK, I'm like, okay. And when we were in London, it was so cold, it started snowing. So I said, wait, when is it warm here? And they were like, no, you have to come back like in May or June. So when you said June 30th, I was like, oh, perfect. It's going to be a little warmer.
Yes, it is. It is going to be definitely warm. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm excited to just seeing all these phenomenal women gather together and just share their expertise and what, especially kingdom women, sharing what it is that they do and who they are and how people can actually support them. Because a lot of time we're supporting other people and then we never talk about what it is that we actually do, what it is that we actually have to offer, so that we can really network and begin to support one another for a greater impact. And that's what empowering women is all about, that connecting, that collaborating, and that really just faith and finances, because we're going to make that money too.
Yes, because he's given us knowledge to prosper and to, have our portion. He wants us to be in health even as our souls prosper. So we have to get the full package. We often live below our kingdom means. We are not tapping into our authority. We're not tapping into the power. So I'm excited.
I'm excited about what you're doing as well, because you're really going to help get that kingdom excellence out there, because everything that we do is supposed to be done in so much excellence. And I think a lot of time it's you needing to delegate those tasks to somebody else. And as you said, a lot of time what frustrates us, what it is that we need, that's what we have to become for other people, because that gap is there. So I'm so glad you took the initiative and formulating, because it's really definitely needed. I'm excited. I'm
And
excited.
let me tell you the other thing, which I'm really excited about my team, because my team
Mm,
are kingdom servers. So one
mm,
of the other things is, when I was growing up, my mom used to make this comment all the time, and it would say, "All hands on deck." And
mm.
so if we were having birthday party, if we were having an afternoon service, if we were serving platters, she would say, "Okay, everybody come help, all hands on deck." And so one day, my sister made the comment. And so now I'm 40 years old. My mom is in her 70s. So some of her little comments, when I hear them, I'm like, wait, 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 wait. And so when my sister said all hands on deck, it dropped in my spirit the story of Ezra and how they
Mm,
were building, right? They were
yeah,
put on an assignment to continue to build a temple that God had ordained them to build. And
yeah,
what happened was, because they looked like they needed all hands on deck, they needed all the help they could take, the enemy was able to come in and say, "Hey, we believe, in the same thing that you're doing. We want to help you." But God
mm,
had already instructed them that this was an enemy. This was
mm.
who secretly was going to be
Jesus.
deceptive. They were
Mm,
going to be the one trying to take the boat down. Instead of
my
rowing
God.
the boat, they were going to be drilling holes in the boat for you to sink. And so because God revealed that, Ezra
Woo.
said, "No, no, you can't help us build. We don't need your type of help." Because see, the thing is, you need help, but you don't need everybody's help.
Everybody's help. My
You don't need
God, you
everybody's
better
help.
prophesy on this line today.
So
Jesus.
I had to tell my sister, I said, "You know what?" I said, "We were raised kind of like everybody chip in, everybody come help. But the truth of the matter is, we don't need everybody's help.
Mm,
We can't afford to have everybody's help in this season, because everybody is not for you. Some people are really secretly against you." So I love that my team is in a place where they all were kind of like, "No, we could get this done. We want to execute. We want to see this come to light." And I love
mm.
that, because I don't want to have anybody around me that I got to second guess their motives.
Yes. Oof. That part right there. This, you said a whole what that delivered somebody right there. You said a whole word right there, because it's so key, especially when you are building. The enemy just comes
Yeah.
to send so much distraction to get you out of alignment, to try to derail you from
Yeah.
the vision, from what it is that you're actually trying to build. And this is why it's so important, when you're a visionary, when you're a builder, to stay focused. And you got to make sure that your circle's tight, that you got the right people around you.
Hmm.
It is so key, because
Yeah.
it can just derail just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Before you know it, here's deception.
Mm,
Here's the enemy being, divisive, and just sowing seeds of discord. And
mm.
you just don't need it. You just
It
don't need
is
it.
so, so true. So this is why it's so important to have a discerning spirit as well, and stay prayed up. Like everything, really do put it before God, because I'm telling you, the enemy comes with flattery, comes like he wants to help. But as the woman of God said, instead of rowing, they're drilling holes, and you're wondering, why am I doing everything that
Yeah.
I need to do, and it still feels like I'm sinking? Some
Yeah.
of you are listening right now, and you've been doing everything you need to do, but you let the wrong people in the boat.
Mm.
You
Mm.
let the wrong people in the boat, and you're wondering why you keep rowing and it seems like you're going down instead of going forward.
Mm. 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 That the wrong people.
The
Yep.
wrong people in the boat.
Yep.
Mm,
Yeah.
Jesus. Woo! Mm. I'm going to leave that alone.
Listen. That's a word. That's a word right there. Listen.
I
Uh,
feel like that's a t-shirt somebody needs to make. Like, who's in your boat?
who's in your boat? That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Wow. Woman of God, before we wrap up on today, I want to ask you, what's the best advice that you've been given?
Ooh. I want to say the best advice that I've ever been given, especially
Yes.
for a person like me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my bishop that I talk about all the time, Bishop Douglas E. Yancey. I was coming to him with one of my many days of, "This is wrong. Can you listen to me? This is not making sense." And he listened to me for about a good 20 minutes. And he said, Joy, how do you eat an elephant?
Mm.
And I was like, I mean, I probably have to tie it up. I probably have to get it down to the ground because I'm an analytical person. So I'm gonna analyze this thing and break it down to the least common denominator. Okay. That's a good thing sometimes, and it's a woo child, slow down sometimes. So I'm like, you gotta wrestle it to the ground, you gotta tie it up, you probably gotta cut it in four, in four portions, then you probably need to dislodge. And he's looking at me like, no, you eat the elephant one bite at a time, like you eat anything else. And I was like,
Wow.
wow. Because in my mind, I'm like, an elephant is massive. It's huge. It's gigantic. It'll overpower me. It's bigger than me. It's beyond me. And he's like, so what? You eat it one bite at a time. That's
one bite at a time.
That's our goals. That's our dreams. That's our desires. That's kingdom events that we're planning. What do? We eat it one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Yes, I love that. That is well, that is powerful. That's so much wisdom, because a lot of time we can just be discouraged by looking at something just because it seems big. It seems so much bigger than you. And who knows that when God gives you something, it's bigger than you anyway. If it don't frighten you, if it don't scare you, listen, 9 times out of 10, it's not God. He gives you a vision that you got to engage in that's greater than yourself, because you can't do it by yourself.
That's right. That's right.
You're going to need people.
That's right. That's right.
You cannot do it
by yourself. You're gonna need a strategy.
You're gonna need strategy. You're gonna need downloads. Like Noah, he's gonna have to set down downloads and give you the blueprint to build.
But if you're not careful, you'll be intimidated by the elephant before even starting to eat it.
Jesus.
You'll be intimidated and you'll walk away. Like, no, it's too big. It's too massive. It's too strong. It'll overpower me. I can't do this. No, I'm out. Choose, pick somebody else. No. Yeah. So, and that story has touched, it's increased my faith.
Yes.
I love the more, it's increased my understanding the more. And so I carry that in my heart all the time. I use it with my clients all the time. Like, girl, we about to break down this elephant. Okay?
We about to break down this elephant. That's it. So now when you see challenges, it's like you're just looking at that elephant.
Yeah.
You're saying like this one bite at a time. That is phenomenal. I'm so excited to have you come into London, to just connect with a kingdom-minded woman that's got so much wisdom. You are just, I love you, the way you flow, you just who you are. Do you understand? And it's just authentic. You've got such a grace for business, for finding what needs to be done and getting it done with ease for other people. This is just so key what it is that you're doing. And what you also done is you've done the work behind the scenes. You're not just talking the talk, you've actually done the work. And we don't really see a lot of that these days. We see a lot of talk, but do you have the results?
Yeah. And I think that, because life's encounters, life's, things that we have been through and experienced, life's experiences will teach you lessons sometimes that other situations, other fields won't teach you. Like, yes, I went to school to be an educator. I went to school to be a leader. I went to school for multicultural education. However, the lessons that I learned being in the field, being in different countries, being in Paris, being in Jamaica, being in all these places.
Jamaica one more time.
Jamaica. Aragon. I love Jamaica.
I'm going to Jamaica October.
Really?
Yeah, we're doing a mission trip out there. We're doing like 12 barrels. We're going to be helping those that are underprivileged and vulnerable, because that's like my mom's heart, to just help people. So that's one of her passions. So listen, we're going out there October.
We need to talk. My
Yes.
oldest sister has been a missionary for years. So I'm talking about Haiti, China,
Wow.
Africa, teaching and traveling. So like as a young girl, I'm talking about 10, 11, I was
Wow.
saving my allowance to be able to give my sister because she was going on mission trips. We were taking our old shoes and clothes that, were
Yeah.
still good, stuff that we would actually wear, and donating it. Even when it came to my mother, she had us feeding the homeless since we
Mm,
were children. I'm talking about Thanksgiving dinner. We may
mm,
have eaten like around 2 o'clock, but by 5 o'clock, we were going to serve to make sure other people were eating. On Sundays, our church would go in North Philadelphia, born and raised, and feed the homeless, go down into the subways, go down to the
mm.
where these homeless people and less fortunate would be. And that became our life's mission. I mean, I literally just had a conversation with my girlfriend. I said, I want my children to also know what it's like to humble yourself,
Mm.
conversation with somebody who is less fortunate, because you would be utterly surprised. I'll never forget, I had a conversation with a homeless woman. This
Mm.
young lady had a PhD.
Wow.
Parents were doctors. However, she got caught up in a relationship. She was heartbroken. She was devastated. She had some type of breakdown. From a breakdown, she started
Wow.
using drugs. From drugs, she started drinking. Somebody slipped her something at some point, and she was
Mm.
psychosis. She was in a state of psychosis that this woman was like the more we started talking to her, the more she started really sharing her life story. And she was like, I want to tell, because we had took out the youth department this particular day. And she said, I want to tell you young people, listen to your parents.
Mm.
Listen to your parents. These people love you. They don't want you to wind up like me. I thought that was so heartbreaking, because all I could think about was, but for the grace of God, there go I. That
Mm.
could be me. That could be my sister.
Jesus. Come
And so
on.
oftentimes we look past people's,
Mm.
we look at, they dirty, or, they don't have this. But let me tell you something. The laws still have value.
Yes.
The laws still have value.
Jesus.
They still have a story. They still could turn it around. They sometimes just need destiny helpers. So I love it. I love the missions. I love sowing seeds. I love serving. I love it because it's like, God, I know I started out very humbly. We came from very,
Yeah.
very humble beginnings. Very. And so I never can forget that. Never.
Mm.
Never. So God bless you guys. I definitely will be talking to you more about that because
Yes, I'm excited. You see, this is what Empowerment Tuesday is just all about. Just getting to know girl talk, just getting to know each other and really sharing our stories so that other people can be blessed and encouraged. Now, I'm sure there's somebody that's planning that event. I'm sure there's somebody that's thinking, wow, this is exactly what I need. And had you not shared your expertise, shared what it is that you do and your actual passion behind why you do what you do, because a lot of people can have the ability to do something, but if
Mhm.
you're not passionate about it, if it's not something that's driving you, it's not going to have that flow like it's for somebody that is actually called to do that thing. And
Mhm.
you, listen, you've been graced for this, sis.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I tell you, it's nothing but God, nothing but God. And a lot of people, don't realize like we still have young children. So,
Mm.
you know, some days that I'm like, go ahead. It's some days that I'm like, okay, let me pencil this in, let me schedule this because the kids' schedules are like this. Last 2 years ago, a grandbaby was added to the bunch. So now it's
What?
five children and a
Are you,
grandbaby.
are you kidding me?
Yes.
You said 5 children and
Five.
a grandbaby.
Five.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I tell
You look
people,
phenomenal.
well, thank you, thank you. What I tell people is one of them was born in my womb, the other four were born in my heart, but they're mine.
Oh, bless.
They're mine.
That's it.
Yep. Yep.
Is it?
We have a very busy household.
You are just doing it
A very
so.
busy schedule, but it's definitely nothing but the grace of God. It's nothing
Um,
but the grace of God.
please let them know before you go where they can reach you.
So you can reach me on YouTube, which is Joy Maxwell, the Visionary. They can reach me by email, info@Joy Maxwell and Company. Well, joymaxwellandco.com. Facebook, Professor Joy Maxwell. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think I have a LinkedIn out there and some other stuff that our team are managing, because we also, social media was another big hiccup for us. Like, ooh, post what's these reels now? So that's another piece that we handle, social media content, just taking some of that stuff off of these people's backs. So yes, that's how you can reach me.
Joy is the, like, my mom calls me all purpose, but I'm just gonna anoint you with that mantle, with the all purpose of mantle, because she's there doing, they're helping you with your events, they're helping with your social media, like,
Listen,
to get your business together.
concierge service. When I say concierge, we are concierge service. I mean, we even have a ghostwriter. I'm talking about a ghostwriter with a PhD. I mean, sis is doing history on history to make sure papers
Wow.
are being written, PR press are being written. She's done books, she's done magazines. So I'm talking about when we sat down and thought about what does the average coach, consultant, visionary, pastor, hello, pastors need this stuff too.
I'm like, where you been all my life?
Yeah, so we have PR services on our concierge. We have ghostwriting. We have monthly blog memberships. We can write your blogs, email marketing. Yeah, we have a few strong, mighty people on our team. So we're excited. We're excited.
That's phenomenal. I'm excited because I know this is needed so much. So make sure, like, you're letting everybody know, Joy. Let everybody know.
Yes.
You got the goods. You got the goods.
Yes. And the thing is, like, it's for us, it's about quality over quantity. So we're at a place right now that we're really just doing word of mouth, because we don't want to become so overwhelmed just to say we have clients that we're underproducing. Because that's something that some of these people out here, I mean, they're gonna overpromise you the sun, the moon, and the stars. And they're gonna give you a Sharpie. And we gotta stop that. We gotta stop that. Telling you that they about to put you on Broadway and you on somebody's Broad Avenue. Like, listen. So we really want to operate in integrity. We definitely want to operate out of a spirit of excellence. So yes, you can send me an email, info@joymaxwellandco.com. We would love to talk to you guys, help you on your next projects and endeavors. The other thing is, I think sometimes people, this is something that we see a lot too. Somebody will contact me and say, hey, I'm having an event in May, and I don't want to start advertising for it until March. And I'm like, if you're having an event in May, we need to be advertising in September. Yeah. We got to stop doing stuff a day late and $1 short. Especially church folks. And I hate using that terminology, church folks, because church folks are just folks that go to church. But the church has gotten really comfortable with doing stuff a day late, and $1 short, because we're the church. Of course, y'all gonna come to the service.
And this is the thing: if we invest the money and get it done, we will save so much time, and it will be so more effective. So please invest in these services. Invest in these services to take your events, your business, your life to a whole new level. Listen, like, Joy's not gonna get rid of meetings, you know. We're gonna be new besties. I'm telling you, because I need all that good stuff.
Oh goodness! Listen. I'm here for it. I told you earlier. I said I'm gonna have to give me an international clock, because these people. I mean, and I've been told. I would hear as a child. I would hear prophecies like, you've been called to the nations, and I'm like, okay. But if you just have a limited mindset, like, well, I'm only from North Philly, I only been around Philly. But then when I started traveling and going places, I'm like, wait, this is like a real nation. This is
wow.
Even in Paris a couple of weeks ago, I asked the person, I said, oh, do you take cash? And they said, yes. I pulled out my little Benjamin Franklin, and his face was like, ooh. He said, no, not that. I said, oh, okay. So like we really had to go to get money exchange and get the currency because hello, you're in a different nation. They didn't want our little American dollar.
Wow. I just want to thank you again. You know,
You're welcome. This was
so much
wonderful,
for coming
Dr.
on and just
Vanessa.
sharing what you do, you know, your expertise and the heart behind your actual brand and who you are. And it's just so phenomenal what it is that you're doing. I just love meeting new people all the time because I learn so much. Because even though I'm a leader, I'm always still a student, just willing
That's
to
right.
learn. And I love delegation. If I don't have to do it, honey, I'll find that money.
Listen, it'll free you up to be working on other money-making projects.
That's
How about
it.
that?
And a lot of time we waste so much time doing the things we don't need to be doing when we could be doing income producing activities that's going to serve us more, and especially if it's something that you enjoy doing. So delegation is the key for the peace of your mind. So definitely everyone make sure you follow Professor Joy Maxwell. Follow her on social media. If this is a service that you need, or you can refer her to your friends, to your co-workers, to your pastors. Come on, I know some of you have been going to these events and thinking, what is going on? Listen.
Started 3 hours late. Yes.
So I know a few people I'm going to be referring. I know a few people I'm going to be referring.
Yeah, like sis, I love you, but this was out of order. The way you, yes. Thank you.
I'm about to get up here before I get myself in trouble.
Thank you, beautiful.
You're welcome, and we're definitely catch up, okay?
Yes. Enjoy your evening. Bye, everybody.
You too. God bless you. Wow. That was absolutely phenomenal. Professor Joy, she came in, she served, she poured out so freely. I hope you definitely connect with her, the services that she has, the things that she has going on, and just getting to know why she does what she does, and the mindset behind it is really to see you winning your life, winning your business, win when it comes to hosting your events, that it will be done in pure excellence. I love you all and appreciate you once again. Empowering Women to Win co.uk. Make sure you go and grab your ticket so that you can join us in June. It is going to be powerful. Joy is one of our speakers. Listen, so make sure that you come, make sure that you share this broadcast so somebody else can be encouraged on today. Listen, I love you and there's nothing that you can do about it. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.